Hello guys, Alex here. I just visited Lamar Trailers. Take a look at this visit. Really, if you want to see a example of humble leadership, this is the place. My friend Willie Peterson, which I've known for some years now, we've done some traveling together, learning together, is operating Lamar Trailers, and I needed a trailer, so what better than buying it from someone that I know is a totally lean maniac and is improving their products every day. It was just a fantastic experience, so well built, so solid. And let me show you just my day over at Lamar Trailers. It was
On Mondays we
fantastic.
have a big staff meeting of everybody, but then from Tuesday to Friday we have departmental morning huddles. So. He's from Houston. He's my 2-second lean friend. So we went to Japan together. He got us started, and so he bought a trailer. Today he wanted to see what Lamar Trailers is all about. Tuesday to Friday, each department does their own. Just there's more interaction, there's more communication.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we used to do every day about
huge-
30 people in here, and
too
then
much.
nobody talks, and it's kind of quiet, and it's just the leaders just do most of the talking. So like this, there's a little bit more interaction, a little bit more relevant stuff, because this group here is all manufacturing support, and so it's maintenance, inventory and bill of materials, and CAD drafting. You're encouraged to go out there and ask for feedback. Hey, what's not fitting? What are you
Like a
struggling
Gemba
with?
walk?
Yep. And so that's one of their goals that we've set, to encourage them to walk out there. And so basically they just got to go ask for feedback, or remind them that their customers are the people out on the shop floor.
Yeah.
But we kind of do it backwards. We have guys that have worked here for a long time. They build the trailer,
Yep.
and then the CAD drafting team would kind of draw it
Okay.
instead of.
Right after the huddle in the morning, we went to clean the restroom here with the team.
Or what have you done already?
Well, I just sprayed everything down. I'm just
Okay.
cleaning this area, like
Okay.
the mirror and the counter here.
All right.
And I sprayed down the toilet.
So this is HR and finance, yep. They have a goal of reducing turnover. Our turnover from last year was improved 16% year over year, and so this year we want to improve it more yet. Yesterday I received 16 applications. That's a lot.
Well,
But our turnover right now is probably in the 30%, somewhere in the 30s.
wow.
I don't know how that compares.
Well, how much was it before?
Oh, almost 100%, like 3 or 4 years ago. And so if they get $2 an hour more somewhere else,
Hang on.
they were gone, but not so much anymore. Done very well with in the past. This is something they're working on right now, actually, of recognizing people who, it's just on Sawhorses because they're making this, they're putting this together. But recognizing the people who display these core values, who have done a good job of it. So every quarter or every month we do that, and then at the end of the year we have a big vote at the end of the year and some gifts for the people out of these who will win it. Yeah. So we want them to be able to go home to their families and say, hey, look, I made this on the board, and then here we have in English and in Spanish just kind of what the people said. So the team members, his team votes who gets this, and then they make a description for what his team said about him.
Our humble leader. So
Yeah. It's important to me. Yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah, we serve each other. Nobody's above the other person. We have different roles, different responsibilities, but we're all on the same level. The turnover, how we got it better, is culture, and so it makes a big difference who people work for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Started in 2003. We're about 20, a little bit over 20 years old, and this is where it started, in a little pole barn. This was in the middle of the shop where we're about to go into. So, a 40-foot trailer, you would weld half
the
of it.
owner started there?
Yeah, that's him welding there.
Really?
Yeah, so he'd have a phone on one side, you know, landline, and so when it rings, hopefully it's an order, and so he would build trailers. He started the company with $5,000. Yep, one employee. 70% of businesses fail within the first year. Like, those are the statistics in the US. 50% of businesses fail in 3 years. And so it's hard to start a small business. Do it. And if you ask him today why he started the business, he just says, I had to feed my family. We set the standard. So the industry used to not build their dump trailers like this. Now this is the industry standard. If you look, the industry is doing these top rails now, and they're doing a 7-gauge floor, which you can't see here. A thicker floor. But it's putting the strength where you need it. So making the trailer too heavy is not a good thing. You want to make it strong, but if you make it too heavy, you can't load a lot on there, and then you're at payload already. You'll be overloading the trailer. And we read the book, The Toyota Way, and started reading 2-second lean and implementing that. We were the fastest growing company in 2018, fastest growing trailer company, and we were proud of it. But you know what? It wasn't fun.
Why?
We weren't very good at this yet. And we were running around with our hair on fire, and we had
Just problems.
oh yeah, our shop was a mess.
I understand.
We had parts and inventory everywhere, but yet we ran out. So we had 1,000 bumpers, but the bumper that we needed, we hadn't made yet, and so we needed to go and make it, and like it was just a mess. We made a collective decision as a leadership team and the owner that we're going to pay off all our debt and just get better before bigger. So we implemented 2-second lean at this point, free in 2020. It's also a lean philosophy of ours is like, hey, we don't have the stress of any loans. We run our business the way we want it to be run. The bank doesn't tell us what to do. Want to do layoffs and stuff like that. That's not our way of doing it. So we have room to make other changes because we're debt free. The bank's not going to take our equipment or anything.
Huge.
We have 12 competitors within a 10-mile radius right here.
How many?
2 brothers started it here in 1993, and they separated and started their own, Low Trail and PJ. And then their employees got really good at it and started saying, hey, we can do this ourselves. And everyone started their own businesses. Some are still small, some have grown a lot. So, and Lamar Trailers is one of them that started from an employee working at PJ Trailers. The owner, he grew up super poor in a dirt floor house, 10 brothers and sisters, and he received his first pair of shoes when he was 10 years old. Moved to US and started his company like we saw in that other room. And he welded them in here and painted them in his garage. And that's how he started. And then today looks a little bit different. But he only wanted 6 employees, so that way he would have no supervisors. He also raised parakeets on the side, and that's the only reason they were able to pay his first employee, like during the hard times of the first couple of years. Parakeets is what paid his dad, which is Fernando's dad was the first employee, and he still works here today. So.
Really?
Yep. We try to have the things that we have here in the office out on the shop floor because those are our customers.
George Fair, he is the best person ever. And
George Fair is the
yes, the owner. Yeah, and he is one person that everyone wants to work for, and he's so loving. And like, for me personally, I feel like I'm his child because like I just know that when I'm here, I want to take care of Lamar, I want to take care of the people, but I also want to take care of George, and he would do anything for us that we would do for him. So that makes it way more fun. When I walked in, it's like I wasn't ever new. He, I mean, just welcomed me,
immediately.
and he just like I feel like I just knew that I was safe with him, and so with that, like it just goes across the board, like no matter
secure.
what. Oh yeah. So it just feels like if I need family, I come here too, with not just my family. So that is beautiful. I love every aspect of that. If I know that I'm at Lamar, then I know that my faith is always growing, no matter what. So when I have a hard day, I know that my spiritual faith is always going to be my backup because you always forget that in your day-to-day. Here, I never forget that, and it's a beautiful thing. Actually, they get comfortable, and then you get to learn so much more about them because we're at that vulnerable spot, and so for that, it's beautiful. It's a great thing. Take care of our people. So in my part of my job, we have a recognition program. So 1 year, you get money. So you get $100 every year that you're here. You get a plaque, you get some Lamar goodies. At 5 years, you get $500. So every year that goes by, you get $100. 5 years, you get a plaque. 10 years, you get a plaque, your money. 15 years, you get a trip to Cancun. 20 years, you get a brand new side-by-side. And we have done 2 side-by-sides and 2 trips. So that's a fun thing. People get excited about that. So that would be my thing.
So the owner, the faith,
And we take care of our people. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to get philosophical now. The restroom is a dojo. That's where you're going to teach everyone about the culture, about how lean thinking, and how to improve. Why? Because it's a common place where everybody goes 3, 4, 5 times a day. And if you do that through videos and share that throughout the whole team, why is that toilet paper there? Why is there not a cabinet? Do we need this? Do we need that? And whatever you have been achieving on the restroom, it's going to happen in your shop. It's kind of like the morning meeting, right? You have one guy doing it all week. So you're losing opportunity of having other people learn about the restroom. If you cannot find an improvement in a restroom throughout the whole time of your lean journey, what makes you think you're going to find it out there? Teaching them to see, you're teaching them to find the issues and the thinking, questioning. They always have to be questioning everything they do, everything they see, and that's what really lean is about, is they're questioning, they get ideas, they implement some tests, do some testing, running some experiments, and improving based on that experience.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This is our little dojo, and we also have our ERP software in here, and we track all our inventory in here. So if we can't keep correct inventory in here, how are we going to do it out into the shop? So this is a little practice area when we want to try out a new software or a new module in the ERP system, then this is a good place to do it without messing up a bunch of stuff. That maintenance team recently did, or I don't know whose idea it was, but those windows in these doors, we used to not have windows in the doors, so people would be running into each other. So that's really, really cool. One thing that we really teach on here is the whole office where we just came from, this supply room, and the maintenance team. All of those are manufacturing support. So accounting, the executive team or the leadership team, we're all here to support what's going on south of this wall here. So these are the rock stars. So We jump through 14 hoops, so they don't have to jump through one hoop, right? We do the paperwork, so they don't have to do the paperwork, or they do the bare minimum paperwork, right? And so often at companies, especially as you grow and you got more complexity, they feed us, and so we're here to support them.
Yeah.
And
And we went to the shop floor and we went directly to the restrooms, and for sure they have started their journey here and they're going to start rotating people. But what a great start. Wow, these restrooms were incredible. If this is the baseline, you can imagine what's going to end up looking like in the future. And Willie explained me that 3 years ago when they started trying to reduce the inventory, they had $1 million worth of inventory, and today they're able to not only cut what they need for the week, but you could see all those bins inside those shelves, they're all empty. And the fact that now they are able to cut just what they need for the week instead of just piling up more and more parts, they're able to reduce it by half. Willie was explaining how this bin has now 10 or 15 different parts which are cut out for that week's production. Before, they used to have this whole bin just full of one single part. Could you imagine the chaos?
now, 2 years later, we have $500,000 work in progress. That's a 50% reduction in inventory, and we're building the same amount of trailers.
They've done such a great job eliminating another process that was cleaning these parts. You can see the team member there is cleaning them right at the machine of that cutter. Therefore, they don't have to spend another team just cleaning parts. So it's been a lot of work to get where they're at. So the next step is the bending machine, and the bending machine is right next door. And so you can see what is the inventory right here in the floor, which is going next to the bending machines. So there's a clear visual of what is the work cut out for the day. Then our Gemba walk continued to the welding area, and there's several lines of trailers depending on their model. And they work by pairs of welders. And just in front of my eyes, I saw how a trailer was built so fast, and it's a coordination. It almost looks about like a ballet. Everybody knows what they need to be doing, and they keep improving. It's just amazing. What was extraordinary is that Willie and his team were very humble, and they were receiving all my feedback. I can't wait to come back and see all those improvements. Thank you very much.